Right, today we're going to be creating found object art. Found object art is a type of artwork where the artist just finds everyday items around their house to create something beautiful. Sometimes found object art is known as recycled art because you're taking something that some people might think is junk and you're turning it into something wonderful. So let's just go through some materials that you might have around your house that you can use. And of course, these are not the only items that you could use in your found object art. You can use recycling like plastic bottles. You can use lids from anything that you might have around the house. If you have clothespins, that would be an awesome tool to use in your artwork. You can use popsicle sticks, straws. If you have some paper towel tubes or toilet paper tubes lying around, you can use those. Any type of scrap paper or magazines would also be perfect to use for found object art. Now you might also need to have a way to connect these objects together to form your piece of artwork. So you may need tape. It could be masking tape or it could be regular clear tape that your parents might have around the house. You may also use a stapler if you're allowed to use a stapler. You can use glue sticks or white glue if you have them available, and even if you're allowed to use a glue gun, you could use that. You might also need scissors to join your artwork together or change its shape. So, some things that you can make with found object art is a lot of sculptural items, so things that are 3D. So let's go over and look at a few examples that I have for you. So let's come on over here and you'll see some examples of found object art. If you're a Bethel student, you've probably seen this Piggly Wiggly around the room before. He's made out of a can, buttons, the lid of a milk jug, his ears are made out of paper towel tube, and his feet are made out of egg cartons. And you can see that I decorated him with the funny papers from the newspaper. You can even decorate with any other type of art materials you may have around the house, like markers or paint. Here's another example of found object art where I used a Dr. Pepper bottle and turned it into some sort of flying kitty cat. It can be as big as you want it or as small as you want it. So here's another example of just using pipe cleaners and beads and buttons to create a little sculpture. And it doesn't have to be a sculpture either to create found object art. You could have a more 2D type of artwork where you glue items to a background piece of paper. And the last example I'm going to show you is one that a student made me several years ago, and I just love him. He's made out of tubes and used crayons to add facial features and little googly eyes and decorated with scrap piece of paper. So found object art is one of my favorite types of art. I love to see the creations that you guys come up with. So the most important thing when doing found object art is to make sure you have fun and be creative, but also make sure you have permission to use whatever you find around your house. Have fun!